reached out to and said, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing, and they were fine with staying on board, which was, I was very appreciative. 2 months ago, I did a complete relaunch. So I almost feel like I don't deserve to be sitting right here in front of you guys, except that I do know the good, bad, and ugly of what you guys are going to want to look for, what to avoid, things like that. But my network is only about 2 months old, so it's still in its infancy again. So knowing about films, you know that it all started with distribution. It all started with big theatrical releases, followed by VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. That's how everything was distributed. Excuse me. That's great if you have that huge budget and you're from Hollywood, right? That's great. For the indie filmmakers, that meant that the only way you could distribute was your own YouTube channel or Vimeo, which in their infancy did not get your films out very far. We have seen a trend, even more so since COVID. People are not going to the theater as much. The prices, it's not worth it when you know that in a month it's going to be available on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or Paramount Plus or all of those other places. So people aren't spending as much money on the theater releases. So those have kind of backed off a little bit. Now you have so many bigger places that you can distribute. You can, there's Vimeo, there's Tubi, there's Screamify, which is a good horror one. There's Shudder. There's so many of the places that you can distribute. The problem is for indie filmmakers, and especially, unfortunately, for horror, there is a box that you have to fit into in order for your film to be distributed. And so, like when I come here and I screen and I sit in on any of the screenings, those I do go into as a distributor, and I watch your films and I say, okay, Netflix will not sign you because you did XYZ, or there's no continuity in your, you had to do pickup shots, and so you brought somebody back and it's 2 days later, but they're in the same costume clothing that they wore the day before. Netflix, Tubi, Hulu, they're going to look at that and say no. So, and the thing with horror is, as they were saying in the screenwriting panel, when you go in with horror, you go in and you make a film because you want to make a film, but you don't necessarily have the budget. And horror is great for that. You can make an amazing film with hardly any budget. That's one of the great things about this particular genre. But again, that keeps you from getting the distribution. So with the transition now to streaming, that's the biggest way. You do have your print where you can make DVDs or Blu-rays, you can sell those. So that is a way to distribute. That's hard to do. Social media is very particular. I don't know if you have Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, your friends are who you see. Let's say you have 5,000 friends on Facebook and you post about, hey, just finished, I've got 100 DVDs I want to sell on my new movie, guys, share my post and let's get these sold so I can make my next one. That's fantastic. But the way that Facebook works is, so what, you have 5,000 friends, it's going to show you the 25 top people that you interact with, period.
Yep.
Your best friend could be in Africa on a mission trip or something, so you haven't talked to them in a month and a half. Facebook says, oh, they're not friends anymore, we'll just hide their information. And they go away. Somebody you went to high school with that you think about often just because you wonder how they're doing, they're not in your feed anymore. And you're like, oh, did they unfriend me? You go look, no, you're still friends. Facebook said, oh, they weren't important enough. They don't live near you, so we're just going to, hide them from you. So you see your top 25 people out of your 5,000 friends. So when you post on Facebook, you think you're showing something to your 5,000 friends. You're not. You're showing up to about 25 people on your list, if you are in their top 25. So when that friend shares something, when one of those friends says, oh man, I'm going to support you, let me share this, only about 25 friends of theirs are seeing that post. So even though somebody shared and you both have 5,000 friends, there's a potential for 10,000 people. Reality is you only have about 50 people seeing that. Excuse me, allergies are bad right now, so excuse me.
A lot of pollen here.
Yeah.
There is, and that rain yesterday did not, was that yesterday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. It did not help
No.
at all. And the heat coming today is just like pushing
Made
it all down.
more pollen.
Yes. So social media is great, but you have to know how to use it. You have to know, you can't just post and hope. Even when you do the paid ads on there, it's picking and choosing a few people that it thinks you want to see, that it thinks will want to see it, and sending it out there, and it stops there. So you can't just rely on social media. You can't just rely on one platform. You have to hit all of them. You have to understand how to post on each of them. So Facebook will have a different time of day to post things based on what you're posting, based on the audience you're looking for, based on whether it is a reel, a video, or a picture. It's not just the best time to post is 5 to 7 on Tuesdays. It's 5 to 7 on Tuesdays if it is a reel about meals, about cooking meals. It's not the time to post if it's about your horror movie. It will be shown, Facebook will say, oh, no, this isn't the time for that, and it hides it. So even though you've posted it, it's hidden even from your 25 friends. So you have to know your entire audience for each post that you do to get it seen. You have to know your hashtags. So you have to do some research and know your hashtags for each thing. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. You can even use Snapchat because they have reels. So it's not just snapping pictures with your friends. You can have a business Snapchat and use those reels because it will push out the reels. But again, on each of the platforms, even YouTube, you need to know when to post for what you are posting and know your hashtags. Those are very important.
I don't know if I can ask a question.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like there's a lot of film groups on Facebook, which might be like maybe 4,000 people in the film group.
Right.
And then some of them will let you post like some of your work that you've done, you know, I'm an actor.
Right.
And so, but that'll reach whoever's within that group, the 5,000 within, let's say, Ohio Film Group.
Depends on how everybody else has their settings. If I have my settings, for me, if I'm in that same film group, and I have my settings set to notify me when there's a new post, yes, I will see it. If he's in that same group but doesn't have those settings set, he's not going to get notified. And if anybody posts after you that people comment on, you're lost because this one's getting the interaction. If somebody posted before you that's getting lots of comments and stuff, you're lost because this one's important.
So does it move down, and it's based on popularity?
It is.
So what they're trying to do is give more hits to their thing, and if your
Yes.
thing isn't taking their thing up, then they're like, okay, and this other one's working, then they're going to go with them to unseat you.
Yes, that's what Facebook does. It looks at where the interactions are, and that's why even for your films, we'll use Facebook because most people are on Facebook, even if they're not on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it is. I hate that platform. That's a me thing. So I'm actually not on X. I think I have an account. I wouldn't even know how to log into it.
I don't know anymore.
I wouldn't even know how to log into it. I'm not saying don't use it. It might be the platform for what you have. Okay, so I'm not, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you shouldn't. But let's use Facebook because for the most part we all have Facebook, at least. So with Facebook, if you're trying to promote your film, you'll want to post something that people have to interact on. Like, since we're in the horror genre, what was one of the films that won? It was Air Fryer Slasher, right? So they would want to post a picture of an air fryer and say, do you have one of these? How's it working? What's your favorite recipe? What's your favorite brand of air fryer? I think I need a new one. Because obviously that one's going to kill people. They need a new one, right? So they're going to want to post something about, hey, I think I need a new air fryer. This one isn't working right. What do you suggest? So people are going to comment because they're not thinking about it being part of the movie. They're thinking about it being, oh, no, I just got a new air fryer and I love it. Let me tell you which one it is. And, oh, you're getting an air fryer? You've got to try this recipe. It is fantastic. So much better than when I cook it in the oven or the grill. So you're going to get those interactions, which is going to boost your post, which is going to boost your page. So you're also going to want to post things like, I just tried this recipe in the movie. It was what, summer sausage or something in one of those scenes. Hey, tried this really awesome summer sausage in my air fryer. really surprised at the flavor, you know, things like that. Things that are gonna get interaction, people are gonna wanna comment on. Post clips, videos, things that get people, avoid rage bait, which is things that is posted, you know that what you're saying is wrong, you know it's gonna get a negative reaction. Avoid the negativity, because Facebook will actually bury a lot of the negativity sometimes. So you don't necessarily want to be negative in your reactions. You're not necessarily looking for negative. Do go with debates. Things that will cause debates, but not angry debates, more of like friendly of opinions and things like that, because that gets the interactions. Make sure you go back and comment on every single person that comments on your posts, on your, you know, TikTok has a thing, if somebody likes your video, you can send them a response, a thank you, it's a heart. And you click that heart because they liked your video, that sends them a private message of just a heart so that they know you're thanking them for paying attention to their post. Facebook will then, even if, or not Facebook, TikTok will then, even if you're not friends, it puts them and more people that follow them or that they follow into your feed and puts you onto their feed because you've interacted with them, even if you are not friends with them. So make sure that you are interacting with every single person who interacts with you on your socials. If somebody comes to your page and likes one of your posts, send them that invite to follow your page. Don't be afraid to send them that invite. Don't be afraid to reach out. Do it. Because that's the only way Facebook and TikTok and Instagram are going to push you up. Because they are social media. Keyword is social. They want the accounts that are interacting and being social with the people that are interacting with them.
So their thing is, that's not even handled by a human probably anymore. They probably got some thing that they set up and they can,
yes,
they can
algorithm.
An algorithm,
right, one of those
program, yeah.
rhythm things there, and do it on its own, react to it on its own, and then that builds up their thing. Yeah.
So you do, but you want to be social. Don't just comment when someone says, hey, you know, cool video. Don't just comment thanks. Don't comment thank you. Don't comment just a heart. Interact. Actually interact. Hey, thanks for liking my video. Make sure you follow my page. Hey, I'm glad you liked this clip. Keep coming back. I'll let you know when the trailer drops, when the feature drops, when the comment, interact, have conversations, be social on social media. That will keep you pushed up in the algorithm, which the bigger following is what will help you get distribution. Whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Vimeo, whether that's on Tubi, whether that's on Netflix, whether it's any of that, that will help you get distribution. With distribution, there are multiple ways to distribute. You can self-distribute. You know, you can put it on your YouTube page. You can create a Vimeo account and put it on Vimeo. You can create a website and put your stuff on your website so people can go to your website and see just your things. So there are ways to self-distribute. There are ways to make your own DVDs. You can buy the blank boxes, print the flyers, I guess, I don't know, the papers that go inside so you have your artwork, your cover. You can print the DVDs. You can have them laser printed with the image. You can even old school it and print like an actual sticker of the label and put that on. There are ways to self-distribute. That's great. That's going to reach your circle. And we all know, unfortunately, the people who support you the least are the ones who love you the most. Your friends and family don't support you. They tell you they do, and they're like, you're doing a great job and I love you. But when it comes time to show the actual support, they always think somebody else is going to do it for you. So the ones who love you the most tend to be the ones who support you the least. So if you're just self-promoting, you're in your circle and it's hard to get out of that. But that is a way to do it. Like here, some people were coming, they've made their DVDs and they're selling them here. Great, that gets them out of their circle. That's excellent. There is nothing wrong with self-promoting, okay, and self-distributing. Nothing wrong, it's just a slightly harder path. Another option you can go to is going with bigger distributors reaching out, trying to find out how you can get in contact with Tubi, Netflix. Netflix is hard, very, very hard. But Tubi, Vimeo, or not Vimeo, Vudu, all of those, you can reach out to them and try to find out who you speak to with them to distribute, and try and reach out personally, distribute that way.
What would
You
they,
also, yes.
do they make, there's a lot of commercials on TV, I think I got Southern Film, but there's a lot of commercials during a lot of those films, and is that how they make the money? So the people who put the films on there, what type of percentage are they getting off of those films?
So every distributor is different in how they pay. It also depends on how you're distributed. There's VOD, video on demand. There's TVOD, which is transactional video on demand, which is your pay-per-views. Whether you are paying, like Amazon Prime, you pay $3.99 to rent it or $20.99 to buy it. That's TVOD, that's transactional. There's AVOD, which is advertising video on demand, which is like that, like you said, that was Tubi, right?
Tubi,
You were talking about, like,
free,
yeah. Like
but they have a lot
Tubi,
of
it's free. It's free to download, it's free to watch, and that's fantastic. The way Tubi makes their money is, one, from the filmmakers, because you have to pay, most of the time, with most distributors, you do have to pay something to get on there. But then it's advertising. So advertisers come to them and they say, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars. We want this many slots. Doesn't matter what film it's on, don't care. I want it here. Or they pay X amount of dollars above that and say, we want in the prime time. Doesn't matter what films, but we want to be in the prime time slots. And so then what Tubi does is they say, okay, this commercial, your film was watched 10 times. And so this commercial played for 10 people. They take what was paid for that advertisement, they break it up into the percentage, and they pay you a percentage of what that advertiser paid. It is a very, very small number. It has to be because of all the number of films that are on.
Right.
If your film isn't getting watched, advertising isn't being watched with that film, it's not going to make money. Nothing wrong with AVOD at all. There's video on demand, there's AVOD, there's TVOD, and then there's SVOD, which is subscriptional video on demand. That's going to be your Netflix, your Hulu. And even Hulu has the plan where it's the advertising, which is much cheaper if you have Hulu with advertising versus Hulu without advertising. The reason for the increase is they're not making money from the advertisers on that subscription that doesn't have the ads, right? Advertisers aren't going to pay if their ads aren't being played. So they're making their money now off of their subscribers through that subscription bump of the no ads. So that's where you have the SVOD, subscriptional video on demand. Again, that is a percentage of all of the films that they have broken down, and that's where you get your percentages. And it's also based on how many times your video was watched, how long your video was watched, whether it was 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the whole thing. All of that makes a difference on how it's paid out.
What about on YouTube? When people put stuff on YouTube?
So YouTube, in order to be paid on YouTube, you have to have, it is 1,000 subscribers in the past year. So if you lose subscribers, that's gone. You have to have 3,000 viewed hours in the last, I want to say it's 6 months, might be 3 months.
3,000
viewed hours to even become eligible. Then you have to maintain, once you become eligible, I believe that watched hours lengthens, and I think it is 12 months again. But to become eligible, it is a shortened time thing. But then you get paid per view. And it's a small percentage, it's pennies. But you have to meet that criteria first. You have to have a set number of followers and a set number of viewed hours. And it's eligible viewed hours, which means it's different. I could have 3,000 viewed hours where everybody that came to this convention or film festival picked a couple of things and watched it for a minute or two, and it added up to my 3,000. That doesn't count because they just watched a minute or two here and there. It has to be it has to meet a certain time length and past that to be considered. So you can't nickel and dime it with YouTube. You can make money with YouTube. You just have to. This is where it's important, again, to know your audience, know when to post, and know your hashtags. I cannot stress enough how important those hashtags are. They are extremely important. You have to know. And with your hashtags, one thing to remember is, let's say you make a movie about a killer bag of popcorn, okay? Killer bag of popcorn. In your hashtags, you can hashtag Freddy Krueger. Do you know why? Has nothing to do with your killer popcorn movie, right? He's not in it. He has nothing to do with your movie. He doesn't show up. That's not, his picture isn't on the bag of popcorn. You can hashtag Freddy Krueger because Freddy Krueger is a horror movie and you are a horror movie. So when people search Freddy Krueger, they're looking for horror movies probably, right? You've hashtagged Freddy Krueger, people see your movie, they see your post because it fits in that genre. So you have to think about those things. I have a TikTok that's about whiskey and wine. And I will I'll make a post about bourbon and I'll hashtag wine because I have other videos that are about wine. So when people come to see that video, they'll check my profile and they found things that they'll watch. So I will still hashtag wine, even though my video has nothing to do with wine, because trust me, wine and bourbon are very, very different. Very different. So when you are doing your hashtags, don't stick yourself with, if you have filmed if you like Quentin Tarantino, okay? If he's your inspiration, so what you have filmed is in his style. Hashtag him, because people like his style. And you have filmed in his style. Hashtag him, because that's your style. And so that audience that likes his style should like your film, right? Mm-hmm. Hashtag him. Mm-hmm. Hashtag anything that could remotely come back to your video. So you don't want to stick with, okay, so the movie's about popcorn, it's about murder, it's about blood and gore. That's not you don't want to stick with that. Don't stick yourself in one thing. Think about people that are watching that, they're watching horror movies, so hashtag horror. Hashtag you get popcorn in a movie theater, so hashtag movie theater. Hashtag movie. Hashtag Freddy Krueger. Hashtag thriller. Hashtag all the things that could in any way, shape, or form be related to something in your film. Okay, so those are very important.
Can you put too many hashtags?
Yes and no. If you do too many, it kind of gets buried. If you don't do enough, it won't get found. And when I say too many, you really, the max I would ever put on one is about 20. Max. That's a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot,
right?
Lot.
But that's the max I would put on any. So with that, let's say you have about 30 hashtags that you want to use. Make a second post with a slightly different picture, or even better, repost it. Come back in a week, go to your post that you did, that you hashtag, repost it, or add it to your story. You can add to your story anytime. Add it to your story and add those other hashtags. It's now getting those second set of hashtags without too many on the first post. So you can use every single avenue of your social medias to your advantage. Repost things, reshare things, find other people that do similar things and repost their stuff, because when you repost their stuff, their audience sees that you've reposted them and it brings their audience to view your stuff. Okay, so repost other horror film things. Share other horror film things.
When people are doing this, and I guess you're talking basically about independent films, you're not talking about trying to get into major studios, unless you are.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, as I was saying, is some of these independent films, if they've done well enough, have you seen any of like the studio say, this film has done really well, we could probably make a lot more money putting this out there, if we got this, we'd be able to sell it.
It has been done, and that's where you have to, remember that box I said you had to fit into?
Right.
That's where you have to fit into that box. You have to know the audience. You have to know the marketability of your film to be able to take it to the studios for them to look at it. There is so much that if you're even slightly out of that box, you're not going to get seen by the studios. They don't have time. They don't have time to work with you to change things, to rearrange things, to edit. They expect what comes to them to be perfect and 100% marketable with an already clear-cut boundary of audience, budget, everything. So we've kind of not gotten off topic at all, but we've kind of spiraled away a little bit. So I'm going to come back to ways to distribute again real quick. So there is the self-distribution. Then there are the smaller distributors that you can go to. Another way you can get distributed, especially as an indie film that you're wanting to get seen by the bigger places, is you'll go to aggregators. Aggregators, I had to write down some because I don't remember the names of all of them. I always forget Bitmax. I never remember Bitmax, ever. I don't know why. But you have, FilmHub is probably one of the biggest, most popular ones that you guys I'm sure have all heard of. So there's FilmHub. There's Indie Rights, there's Bitmax, there are several others. Research them. My advice to you is research them before you go to them and sign a contract. Listen to what they have to offer you, then research them again before you sign with them. With my company, I had a contract with FilmHub to begin with, because when I'm starting, you're not going to put your film onto my network if I have nothing already, right? You don't want to be the first one on my network, right? So I had to have films to get other filmmakers to come to me. But to get those films, I needed filmmakers to come to me. Stuck. I went with FilmHub. As a distributor, I'm disgusted by the way they treat the filmmakers. And I think, unfortunately, it's a business model, okay? They're not out to hurt you guys. That it's a business model, and I'm sure that most of them are run the same way. They have to make money. It's a business. I get that. But as a distributor, I paid them a huge lump sum up front to have access to their catalog. None of you that have films on FilmHub would have seen a penny of that huge chunk of money up front. None of you. That went just to FilmHub, and that was a huge chunk. That gave me access to their catalog. When I ended my contract with them in October, they had 68,000 titles, which is a lot. That is fantastic that there are so many films and episodical titles out there. 68,000. That's huge. When I signed with them the year before, I asked them for a list of their top films because I don't have time to go through 68,000 titles and see what I want to license for my network. I don't. That is a lot to watch and look through. I asked them for a list. They sent me a list, and I asked if I could have the complete list, and they said, that's the list we have. This is what we send. They sent me 25 titles. Not 2,500, not 25,000.
Wow.
25 titles. Not 25 per genre. Not 25 per category. 25 titles. They promoted 25 titles to me. I had requested to license 1,000 titles at that point. And they sent me a suggestion of 25. And the ones they sent me were the ones that were making them money. Now FilmHub, and this is my experience with FilmHub because that's who I have experience with. I am sure that Indie Rights is the same way. I'm sure that Bitmax is the same way. I'm sure they all run the same way, okay? So I am not running FilmHub to the ground. That is not my intention with this, but I want you to understand from a distributor how they are treating your films, okay? All of them. They are great because they do get your stuff out there. They give a catalog to people like me. They reach thousands of people like me. So it does put your films in their hands. It's just hard to find you in that catalog. They have bigger names filmed. They have Lifetime Movie Network films. They have Quentin Tarantino films. They have bigger named films that they promoted to me. They had public domain movies that I had to pay them for that they promoted to me. I paid them for some public domain movies before I realized that they were public domain. As an indie filmmaker, I don't like that they took that huge chunk up front and none of the filmmakers saw that. I paid them a huge chunk monthly. For every $1,000 I paid them, the filmmakers, and remember I licensed 1,000 films, the filmmakers that had views on my channel, not all 1,000, only the ones that had views, split 200 of every 1,000 I sent them every month. That's not fair to you guys. It is what it is. It is a great way. I went with them because I needed access to a catalog to quickly go. You guys go to them because you need to be in catalogs to even get out there. Okay? It is a great way to start. It's not a great way to finish. And there are filmmakers that do make a lot of money through them because they have a bigger budget and because they are making the money to Film Hub and the other ones will start to promote them in that list of 25. That's where they're making the money. So it is possible to make money. It also puts you in the hands of people like me who are much smaller. Never ever discount the smaller distributor, even if you go through somewhere like Film Hub. You might only make 50 cents, 75 cents for the month, okay? But that smaller distributor is growing and building their audience, which will grow and build your paycheck as well. And not only that, but if you're on 100 of them at 75 cents a month, how much have you made? Don't discount your smaller distributors. It's pennies from this one, but it adds up when you're on a bunch of them, okay? Don't discount them. Find them. Find that smaller indie type of filmmaker. Find
Before
them.
you, could I with you just call you up and say, hey, this is Gaines, I
Yes.
got this movie, would you be interested in putting it on your platform?
Absolutely, that's where I was going next, is
Okay.
find those indie creators. You can find them through Film Hub. When I signed with Film Hub, I got my titles. I was given the metadata for every single title that I licensed. Within that metadata was the production company, the producer, the filmmaker, and contact information. Which means when I left Film Hub, if I liked your film, I can now contact you and say, hey, can I license directly with you? Can we talk? I'd like your film on my network. Let's talk funding. Let's talk how much you want to be paid. This is what I pay. Let's talk. Because, and again, I did it because I had to. I felt pigeonholed. So I went with Film Hub, and I'm grateful that I did. I learned many things. But I look at it now that huge chunk up front and those huge monthly payments, if I had had access to all the filmmakers that I have now, I could have paid that directly to filmmakers. So much more in their pocket. So, find your smaller indie distributors. Find them. Number one, they're not going to pigeonhole you. Oh, now, it is very obvious. Sometimes when you make a film, you want it to look amateur. That is your goal. It is a comic relief you're looking for. It is a Blair Witch, okay? Blair Witch was one of the best, worst filmed films. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it makes you sick to your stomach even thinking about watching it again. Horribly filmed, but filmed exactly how they wanted and perfectly filmed at the same time. They did it right, and they got picked up because they had a huge following. And that is excellent. For somebody smaller, you might not get that right away. And because you're smaller, somebody, not necessarily like me, but somebody like me might swipe right past it on Film Hub or something like that. Because, again, 68,000, I'm only getting 1,000. I don't have time to look at everything. I'm just gonna, like, real quick. Make sure, another thing for distribution, make sure you have a trailer. Okay? okay? Make sure you have a trailer. I did not look at a single title that did not have a trailer. I didn't. I don't have time. And I'm looking to get stuff on my network. Even if I have a team of people, we're building our network, we're working behind the scenes, we're doing other things. We don't have time to sit and watch your whole film. We need that trailer to get a good clip. So also grab me in the first 10 seconds of your trailer. Your trailer should be anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. That's fine. Grab me in that first 10 seconds, because if you don't, you've lost me. I'm not going to stick around for seconds 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm not. Get a trailer. Cut your trailer. Catch me in the first 10 seconds.
What about the poster and the name? Will that catch you too?
The name, not so much. Description and the poster. Poster was the first thing. Oh, I like that poster. That's cool. What's that about? I never read the title. I like that poster. What's it about? I went straight to the description. Oh, that sounds cool. Do they have a trailer? No, they don't. Oh, they've got a trailer. Great, let's play. Skip.
Are there a lot of movies out there, they don't have trailers?
So many.
Really?
So many.
It's crazy.
Yeah, me too.
So many. I talked with a gentleman here this weekend. He actually won one of the awards. Not going to say who he is. Won one of the awards. He doesn't have a trailer. And I said, you won an award. Obviously, you're good. I liked your film. I like you. I like the idea behind your film. I think your acting was great. The sound was great. The filmography was great. You don't have a trailer. I wouldn't have picked you up. And he actually has signed with Film Hub. So I had a conversation with about the things to make sure he has. I said, go home, reach out to your editor, get a trailer and get it to Film Hub and do it ASAP. Period. Get a trailer and catch me in the first 10 seconds or I'm going to skip you. There's a lot of other distributors like that will just skip you because no trailer, or you lose me. You don't grab me in the first 10 seconds. So make sure you have your trailers, make sure you have them in the first 10 seconds. Okay? Don't give away your whole movie either, because if you gave away your whole movie, I didn't waste my time on getting your movie. I saw it in the trailer. Don't give away your whole movie, but catch me early. And get that trailer. Get it. Find your smaller distributors. Reach out to them and say, hey, I have a film. I want to talk to you about being on your network. How do I do that? You have some of them that will treat you like Hollywood, and here's a box, and you don't fit it, so no thanks. There are others like me. It's not just me. There are others out there that my goal is to give the indie content creators a platform. So if you don't fit in that box, I don't care. I couldn't tell you how many people have come up to me at film festivals that I've talked to that they've said, man, I would love to talk to you more, but I have a short. So many people ignore the shorts. I got a category for shorts. I've got a channel for shorts. A complete, its own channel of shorts 24/7. I have a place for shorts. There are other distributors out there like me that have a place for your shorts. Don't discount the small ones. It might be pennies, but those pennies will add up. I think I covered everything that I wanted to. I know you have a lot of knowledge, or any questions, anything you think I've missed. We've kind of talked a little bit anyway. We rode up in the car together. Anything that you think I missed, or do you guys have any more questions, anything?
I'm uneducated on this aspect of the film industry, that's why I'm
Counting on you.
All right. How does the number of views of your trailer affect your decision to look at it further?
Honestly, the number of views, I don't care so much.
It's if it grabs you.
It has to
right?
grab me, because there was one film. I watched the trailer. I did not license this film. I did not. And I do not regret that decision. I watched the trailer and I died laughing at the absolute absurdity of the fact that they actually created it and put it out there and thought it was fantastic. Because there are films that I watch and you're like, okay, I can see where you went for the absurdity. You went for the stupidity. One of my favorite movies is the dumbest thing ever created, Office Space. Okay? It is the dumbest movie out there. And I watch it every time I need comic relief. I love that movie. Dumbest thing ever. They went for dumb. And you can tell when watching it, that's what they were going for. But the trailer I watched, as an indie creator, you work hard for your money and you pour your blood, sweat, tears, and money into what you are doing because it's just you. You don't have all those backers and you don't have the big budget. And I just don't understand why you put your energy into this and then called it done.
Yes.
And so I did not license that film because I could tell from the title and the idea it had the potential to be one of the classics. And it didn't. But I died laughing and I showed every single person I knew that trailer. I said, you cannot live if you don't watch this trailer. Like, you have not lived. You have to see this trailer. Don't watch the movie. It's a waste of your time. Watch this trailer with me. I couldn't tell you how many views that trailer got because of me. I would never license that movie.
Our one movie's over 750,000.
Fantastic. Use that.
That's what we're trying to do.
Use that.
Wow.
Share the trailer. Share clips of the trailer. Share clips of the movie. Share behind the scenes. Use that. Use that. Repost it. New hashtags. Get it more views. Bump it. Pay for paid advertising on Facebook to get it out there. Use it. It doesn't affect me as a distributor because I know for a fact I will watch something repeatedly because I just have to process it. So you watch it multiple times. So just because it has a lot of views, to me, doesn't mean it's fantastic. But I would watch it to see why it has that many views. Doesn't mean I will license it because of the views, but I will watch it to see why it has that many views.
Ironically, one of our songs from our movie actually has enough following where it's getting paid.
Perfect. Use that.
Cool.
Don't use and abuse your musical talent,
Right.
but use that with them to continue to boost everything else. Use that sound clip over your other videos. Use it.
So Tori, could you just spend a minute or two talking about the licensing contract that you have with another filmmaker? Let me see if I understand what you're doing. Normally what I do, I go to someone like Phil Hub would then go to you and say, hey Tori, we've got this guy, he's got this movie, and this might be a movie that would fit on your platform. And you, if I'm understanding you right, are cutting out that middleman and going directly with the filmmaker.
Yes.
Directly with me.
I'm going directly with you. That's one of the reasons I come to these film festivals and I go and I watch films is because I want to, and I will go out and I'll network and I'll say, hey, I watched your film. Can we talk?
Mm-hmm.
I will go over my contract. A lot of places will want a contract for 3, 5, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm newer. I want a 6-month contract with you. That's all I want to begin with. 1, I want to see if your film is going to get traction and grow on my network. 2, I don't want you stuck if it doesn't work. So I only ask for a 6-month contract at first.
And you're ad supported.
I'm ad supported.
And then
So for me personally, I'm very different than most of the other distributors. And I say most because I am partnered with somebody in South Carolina. No, I say that every time. We meet up in South Carolina. He's in North Carolina. I'm partnered with him. We have a film festival, a horror film festival. Actually, we're still taking submissions through Friday. It is in October. So we have a film festival. It's in its 3rd year. So we have a film festival. We have some other things. With his company, he has a contract, but because he and I are partnered, any film that I bring him goes into that contract because of our partnership for theatrical releases. So with Mosaic TV, there is the option for theatrical releases for any film that comes to me. Again, I am different than most of your other smaller. Most of your smaller distributors come at it as a distributor. I'm different because I'm a filmmaker. So I come at it slightly different. With my particular network, and so this is what I explain to anybody before we even sign contracts or talk pricing. Because I'm ad supported, I pay you per view. based off of the advertising revenue. I do share ad revenue. I also have multiple platforms for my content creators to be seen. I have the website, which is built like Netflix and Hulu with categories, drop-down boxes, things like that. With that, my content creators have, depending on their film, they're in several categories. If it's a horror film, but it's a short, it's in the short category and the horror film. So if somebody's looking for shorts, they'll be able to find it and see it. But if they're looking for horror, they'll be able to find it and see it. I also have a Roku channel that is run like live TV, so that it's hourly scheduling. And I have two options on that. I can let it create an automatic schedule for me, which is what I did this weekend because I don't have time to schedule it myself. Or I can actually schedule it myself and do the individual program. It takes me about an hour a day to do the next day's schedule. And so that means if you want a time slot, let's say you want to be on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., you've got a Wednesday at 6 p.m. slot, you can tell people, hey, go log on to the Roku app at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and it's my show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So that's an option. Also, I have another, another partnered separate network with it, where every single one of my content creators that has a catalog has their own channel. There's nothing but their stuff 24/7. If you don't have a catalog, you go onto a channel that's exclusives with me, where it is my shows, the ones that I have contracts with, 24/7. So it's 24/7, and you get a link for that channel that, hey, I'm on this channel, here's a link that you can share everywhere. So there's multiple, and then we have the YouTube channel where everybody will have, there's the horror playlist, each of the genres has their own little playlist. If you have a catalog, you get your own entire playlist. There's a playlist for the shorts, for comedy, for horror, for the classics, for things like that. So each one of my content creators will get their own set so that they have more options to be seen. And I think there's about 5 different ways to watch your shows if you sign with me. In addition to that, with my partnership with the gentleman in North Carolina, you also can be on his network as well. That's something we just discussed individually in my contract if you want to be licensed with him as well. And again, there's also the option for the theatrical releases with my partnership with him.
And what's the revenue split with the filmmaker?
So right now I am, I am new, full transparency with this new thing. I just started about 2 months ago. I am still actively, I individually embed, I use VAST tags, which is, my account is with Google Ads, Google AdSense. So with the VAST tags, they choose the ads that go onto each thing. I embed the link and then they put the ads in.
Okay.
So with that, it varies right now depending on what the ads are paying Google. Because not each ad doesn't have, it's not a set price. So I get paid from Google, and then I split that with my filmmakers based off of the analytics of
And what's the split, 50/50?
I do a 40/60.
46. Yeah. What was the company?
It's called VAST. It's not the company. The company that I go through is Google AdSense for this one. I'm actually, my plan, I have a day job as well because something has to pay for all of these things, right? And so we had a huge grand reopening last week. And so my past couple weeks have been very tied up in trying to make sure everything was perfect for our grand opening. But I will be spending the next couple of weeks, I'm actually creating accounts with other ad services as well and embedding those as well. So I'll have several accounts. But it's called a VAST tag. VAST. VAST tag. And that is, it's an ad revenue where they put the ads in themselves, so I don't have to go and search for advertisers, at least for right now. I will keep that, but I will also reach out and start, once I have everything finalized the way I want it, I'll reach out to bigger advertisers as well. There are other companies, like Target is one of them. They love to support small indie companies and do advertising with them. Target is great for that. Not so great for other things, but they are great for supporting small local. And that wasn't even a political comment. They just are overpriced. But, so there are lots of avenues that I am still building with this. Any other questions? Anything you feel like I've left out? Any information you'd like to know more of that I haven't touched on?
What's your reach?
All of my business cards are on the table in the vendor room. I didn't even bring any in here. So my reach right now, it depends on the different platforms. I promote all of my shows, movies and stuff on the different TikToks. I have multiple TikToks for them. One of the TikTok channels that I created in the past month has grown it's grown over 400 followers in less than a month. And so it just depends on the different platform. So I can't give you an absolute set reach. It's in the couple thousand right now, but again, I trashed everything, which meant losing all of the followers and reach from the initial point. And like I said, I restarted and relaunched about 2 months ago. So it's very small at only a few thousand right now. But I spend hours a day scheduling and reaching and doing. And that's another thing to make life easier, there are companies, some of them are free, some of them are paid. Find what works for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be a paid service, but it can be. But find what works for you and spend 1 day a week. If you're working this as a business, then you should take 1 day of your work week and schedule out your posts on all of your social medias so that you don't forget. You can schedule times. You can schedule, which there are ones that you can do one post, that you create one post, and as long as you've linked all of your socials, it will split it up and post it at the best times per each of the socials. And it'll do it for you. You just schedule, this is the post for Monday for you. And yes, I want it on YouTube. Nope, don't want this one on X, but I do want it on TikTok. I don't want it on Insta, but I want it on Facebook. So you just click which ones you want that post on, and it does it for you. Spend a day creating your post. Don't just do some willy-nilly. Don't go, oh my gosh, I forgot to post today. Crap. Okay, done. Put some thought and energy into it. Focus on it. Spend a day to plan your entire week's worth of posts. And then watch those posts to see what's working and what's not, so that next week when you plan, you can either recreate or redo. And you know what you're trying to get. Watch your reach, watch your hashtags, make yourself a list, make yourself a file, pages, Google, whatever, make yourself a list of all of the hashtags that work for you that you want to consistently use. And then of course add in new ones that fit what that particular post is, but make yourself a list of ones that you want to make sure you use all the time so that you don't forget some of them. Because again, I cannot stress on your socials how important that is to get it out, especially if you are trying to self-distribute or if you're going to try and go to the smaller distributors.
And are you looking for exclusivity?
No, my contracts are not exclusive. I don't want to, again, I'm a filmmaker first. And so I want you to be seen. I had a contract with, on TikTok, I don't know if you guys know who Goose is. There's Goose and Officer Udi, and there's like 4 or 5 of the guys, they're good friends. They have a pretty good following. I had a contract with Goose. He's fantastic, he's a comedian, he is amazing. And he called me and he said, Tori, I don't know what to do. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, we have a contract, and they just offered me a network, a deal on a bigger network, but it's exclusive. I was like, dude, I'll cancel your contract tonight. What do you need? Because I want him to succeed. I want him to grow. And I want that for all of my content creators, because that's what it's about. So I am not exclusive. And if you have a contract, if you get picked up by somebody that wants exclusivity, I will end your contract without penalties. Because that's not fair to lock you in.
Are you Wild Wolf Media?
I am Wild Wolf Media, actually.
Cool.
Yes. Wild Wolf Media is the parent company, and then Mosaic is just one of the umbrellas. So Wild Wolf Media owns all of my scripts, all of my films, the network, all of that. But yes, I am Wild Wolf Media. That is me.
Dot the i's and cross the t's. I have a short I want to send you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.